Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner into a Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. This will be on the last Narukami deck I plan on posting for the time being. It's going to be on Brawlers, post 16 card G-Zone expansion, and also I guess post set 7 now that thing's out. And yeah, just some things I can say about what I'm doing with this deck for the format in regards to that. So that being said, though, my list hasn't changed a whole lot since the post-set 5 video, so I'll just quickly run through this and point out any noteworthy things worth pointing out. So, first off, for the starter, Citation, because terrorizing your opponent's starter is always a good thing to have. Then for the grade 3s, you have your obligatory 4 Turbo, 4 Buster, and 4 Big Bangs. You're never going to want to use this guy's skill a whole lot of the time now. Because at least for me, grade 2 game is pretty much non-existent, and the other reason is that now that you're playing 4 Turbo, you kind of need to conserve as much soul as you can, as unless you use Knuckle Buster's effect once or twice, you won't actually be able to pull off the four Turbos, because you'll have your starter, your grade 1, your grade 2, that's 3 Turbos, so unless you happen to cross-ride, unless you do that, then you don't have enough soul to pull off the 4th Turbo unless you throw a Jin into the soul. So, there we go. Then for the grade 2s, 4 Sky Hell Dragon, Field Control, Anti-Rush, sets up on Quest, it's a very good card. And then, up until this point, I was running only 2 of these things, and 4 Shotara, but now that the Feet Flare Dragon exists, I wanted to up the ratio of these guys, because if I do a Turbo or Buster turn, and they defeat flare my back row, these guys can still swing for relevant numbers and thus force out a Denial Griffin if they don't want it to hit. Whereas if I maxed out on Shotara and cut down on these things and they defeat flare, then my Shotara's only swing for 21 because I don't get the massive amount of buffs with Kokon. So, just a note there, but I actually haven't played against Cogs yet with this deck. That will change soon, I know, as at least there will be 3 other Kagero players at locals within the end of the month. Then for the ones, it hasn't really changed. Oh no, it has changed a bit. So I'm running my 4 Perfect Guards, my 4 Striders, 4 Kokon. This thing's still very, very good. And I'm running the 1-of copy of Cloak Dragon. Phoenix is no longer in here because of the conflict of soul between Turbo and it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, this thing's still very good for early game rushing and being able to swing for 10k against your opponent's 9k grade 2s. So, not a whole lot I can say there. And then for the triggers, I'm running the same ratio as in the Kaiser deck. 5 draw, 7 crits, because I want extra draw power to give myself a little bit more speed. And then for the strides, it's 4 Turbo, 4 Conquest, 1 Finishable, 1 Zoras, 1 Sabreeze. Just a side note, I went on a little spiel at the end of the Kaiser video saying how this card wasn't really needed because you don't really have very many GB1 units in that deck, and this deck doesn't run any GB1 units. I actually do take that back in that Seabreeze is still a good card to run in here, because if you end up having to use it because your opponent is grade stuck, after that turn, you are at GB1, meaning the next time you're able to stride, you can go into Conquest or Finish Blow, which, supposing you don't have a G-Guardian and you just don't Sabreeze them because they're grade stuck, and then you get the first opportunity to stride, it's going to be into Zoras, and that's not very good. So at least with this guy, you can just stride this guy, and the next turn, stride in the Conquest or Finish Blow Dragon if Buster or Turbo does not seem to be the optimal play. Then for the G-Guards, 1 Screw You, 1 Dismal, and 3 Vitra. Side note, because Time Leap Gear Chronicle is seeing quite a bit of hype, in particular the TikTok worker Melum combo stuff, this guy's actually more relevant, as you will get the plus 5k off, because they will purposely put themselves at Thunderstrike 1 when doing their combo. This is also relevant during next stage turns, as a really strong next stage turn will usually involve some level of time leaping, which will allow you to drop this guy down, and with a cross-written Knuckle Buster, you get to be at 33k, thus you get to 2-pass an unboosted. That is 2-pass. Yeah, you're 2-passing an unboosted next stage, and you're no-passing a 21k Chrono Jet Dragon, or forcing out a 2-pass if they happen to throw more cards behind it. So, just some things to note there. And plus, you might land a Shocker hit. It sometimes happens. And that's it for the deck itself. Hope you guys enjoyed this. As for what you can expect next on here, I've got Grand Blue ready to go, and I have finished building Gear Chronicle for post this set. I'm currently trying out the Wombo Combo build that is involving TikTok Worker, Melum, and Urwatar combos. It's very fun, and yeah, we'll talk more about that when we get into there. But that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, this is Boost39, jacking out.